Okay, you're live.
Okay. All meeting order. Begin this pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first of all, approval agenda. We can add, I guess, discuss the next meeting date. We can just add that at the bottom here. Next meeting, if we want to do a special or. See, we've added the.
Can we add public comment between approval of the agenda?
Yeah, we can do that. Public comments. After approval agenda. And you've added the additions.
There's 3 additional transfers to be discussed, and then the removal of this since the advertisement.
So we do have the additions, the 20,000 necessary salary, the auditor, 700 from official records to travel, and then the jail medical employees, 400 to inmate clothing,
There's one more in the back.
and the sex and violent offenders sheriff, $249 from equipment to office supplies. That's your additional transfers to be added to the agenda. Well, it's actually on here, but I guess it wasn't published.
Right.
And then we are talking about removing the general commission's annual service due to being tabled by the commissioners, and they have a meeting scheduled, or will be scheduling a meeting with the hospital people. So we will be removing that. Any other additions or deletions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. So the first addition we have is Perry County Highway Department Community Crossings Grants in the amount of
Before
$863,400.
we go on to public comment,
Public comments, we'll do that first.
thank you.
I appreciate you letting me speak. A while back, I'd approached the council about a K-9 program. I was asked to present a plan. I did give a good update as well as I have presented a plan. I look forward to this, or move forward with this. I'm not asking for any money. I'm just asking for your support. I think it's this county is in need of a K-9 program. I received some feedback from some of the council, and I do appreciate that. But I want to move forward with this, but I want your support before I do it. I did give you guys a lot of information. There are some unknowns. There are going to be some unknowns. But I think it's time that we move forward with this. I was able to do it with the Tell City Police Department. And now as a sheriff, I'd like to move forward with this.
One question I had, you talk about where initially you're getting donations and things like that. Is that going to carry forever into the future?
Well, what I would do is, I'm not gonna be around here forever. I hope the dog out like the last mate.
I'm just saying.
So in the future, there might be, as I told you guys before, I would ask for donations, grants, things like that. Right now, I can tell you it's not gonna cost the county nothing to start this program.
To start it, but to sustain it is what
To
I'm asking.
sustain it, I can't tell the future. Another sheriff could come in here and have a whole different, while I'm here as your sheriff, I don't foresee anything being a problem with this. I do not. I know that when I put out publicly that we're gonna take donations, I guarantee you we'll get them. I got them before. I know I can get them again. I just think it's time. I want to start this, and I'm afraid if I don't do something soon, I could either A, lose the vendor that I'm looking at, or B, I may have a possibility of partnering with another agency to move forward with this, and we might save some cost.
The biggest cost is the initial cost of acquiring the animal
The animal.
and equipping the vehicle.
Yes,
And you think, and by and large, those bases are covered.
yes.
Then after that, just regular maintenance. Dr. Lappart's are offered to provide all veterinary services.
That's all free.
Okay, so we would have, what,
I can say, yeah, we could say unknowns, and I agree.
And
The unknowns are a lot. But let's say I could get this dog and it all of a sudden has a different digestive system and it takes some special dog. I've seen this before when I was a canine officer before. I can't tell the future on that kind of stuff.
Do you know if Tell City's gonna start up their canine?
I know they're in the process. Yes, I do know they are in the process, but that they,
I'm 100% in support of it because the
They
county
have not said-
needs 2 dogs. One dog
I know
can't
they're
do it
looking
all.
for funds, but they are not. I don't want to speak for them. I just know they are looking, and I've been working with Roger as well as Derek Wild on this.
And I know the sheriff's department is completely different from the city, because we got the country and every, out in the town, beyond Tell City, that you have to patrol, so. I don't know.
I'm still waiting on the full plan to see what
I
all
sent
the
it to
costs.
you. I submitted it to you.
I got an email from you, but it just said there were a lot of unknowns still as far as costs and things like,
This-
as an example, overtime for the officer. I know Tell City has to pay somewhere around an hour and a half a day overtime for the officer to handle, to take
Kelly,
care
when I
of the
sent
dog.
you the plan, it's all in there. And it talks about overtime that, with you guys giving us an extra deputy, 2 extra deputies, I would be able to give comp time or give off some time off to help with that. I don't understand how it's not in there.
Yeah.
And if not, it's been a week. Why didn't you tell me that before?
Well, because I didn't know you were coming to this meeting to ask for my support, or I would have brought all the information, because I have several questions that I want to talk to you about
I didn't know either.
with
I
those.
just- I'm-
But you
I'm
can't
just-
spring this on us in a meeting and ask us for support right now when we
But I
don't
sent
even
it-
have our
I sent it to you
information.
in email, and I've talked to you. I even gave you an update, and then you
Yeah.
in return wanted to send me. I knew that you asked for that. I just want to give you a simple update.
That-
but you
I'm
didn't
okay
want
with an update, but not
You
to
didn't
ask me to
accept
be
that.
supportive.
You didn't accept that at all. You
Yeah,
didn't accept that.
that's not
Well,
correct.
that's how I feel.
Well, I can share it, I can read it, I can pull the email.
Yeah, I
up.
wish you would, because
Yeah.
you wanted to ask for a plan. I was just doing a simple update. That's
And,
all.
and I
that was.
appreciate an update, but I still want the full plan with the cost for the overtime and everything else, because there's
Again,
certain laws that
how
say
do-
we have to pay.
How do I prepare for the future for a large call out that there is some overtime? I can't.
No, just overtime to have the dog.
There
I
shouldn't
believe
be no
Tell-
overtime. He should work 11 hours.
Have you spoke with Tell City about how they have to pay overtime for that
Yes, I
officer
have.
every day?
I started the program. Just like-
Okay, so what are the total costs for the overtime, daily overtime for the person that has the
So what
dog?
they can do is.
To
they
care
can-
for the dog, I
they
think
work-
is what it
They
is.
can work 10 hours a day instead of 12.
Mm.
In 2 hours, they get a lot of maintenance and keep up on the dog, things like that.
Mhm.
There it is.
With the added
So there-
officers, you can eliminate a lot of overtime. Now, like you said,
Oh, we have
if
comp time.
there's a case
Yes.
and the
I
dog's
just can't
being
help to
used,
say, I just can't help to think, for some reason, you don't want to support me.
No, you're incorrect on that, and I don't
I said
appreciate
how
if
I
you,
feel. I
yes,
said how
I
I
understand,
feel.
but it's incorrect.
Okay.
That is absolutely incorrect, and I've said it multiple times that I can be supportive of a program. I just want to have the plan, because I don't want to go into something not knowing what all the reoccurring costs
So let me
are.
tell you, I have sent this to several people that have reviewed what I have presented you on.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of great feedback saying, oh my God, there's a lot of stuff in there. That's good you put, but I just can't help to think the support I needed is not coming from you or some of you. I'm sorry.
I just want more information. I have a job to
What
do just like
more
you.
information would you need? Give me an example.
Alan, if I had my information with me, if I knew you were going to ask me these questions at this meeting and come
Well,
before our special
unfortunately-
meeting to ask us to approve something that we didn't even know was going to be on this agenda, then I
Unfortunately,
would have had my
I'm
information
asking your
together.
vote. I'm just asking you.
No,
to
I'm-
support
I
the
can't be
program.
supportive of something I don't know what it's going to
The
financially
bottom
cost
line
us.
here is, you're just asking for us to support you to move forward with this.
Yes.
That doesn't commit us to anything.
But there's costs, absolutely, there's
Well,
costs,
right, there's
recurring
but
costs, and we need to know
It's not a
those.
commitment here. We just want to
I
say,
can tell you right now,
we
there's more than
support you going forward with it.
Support to move forward to do what? Because without
Just to
knowing the
get-
recurring
just to get
costs,
it-
you're just
get it
going to
all
say, go
together.
for it and we'll deal with it later. That's not how I manage money.
Just to get it all together.
That is not how I manage money.
Get the program up and going. I agree with
You-
100%. I mean, I know there's gonna be
I'm sorry, Phil,
unknowns,
that's just how I feel.
but I don't see where you
I've
can
asked you
predict
to
all
come to
the
my office and
unknowns.
sit down
Yeah.
and explain to me, but you won't do that.
Yeah, you asked me the night before you had Mrs. Glenn contact me and tell me to be at your office the next morning, and I can't do that. I have a job.
Just a-
Alan, I
just a
can't
reach
do
out.
that.
Hey, can I reschedule with
If
you?
you want to be on the agenda, I think that's great. I think we need to do this in a public setting. We all need to be on the same page. We all need to have the same information. The public needs to be made aware of the information.
How come other people can come to my office if I have a question?
I don't,
How come you go to the ambulance and
to the ambulance.
you go talk to them?
Alan.
They're officials as well. I'm just asking some
No, I'm just asking.
transparency.
At 100%, that's all I
Okay.
want. And I want it in a public setting, and I want to be able to have these discussions in the public on an agenda where we can be, I can have my information, my questions together for you, and we can have that discussion, and we can talk through these things. It's not that I'm not supportive of the plan, but you can't spring it on us in a meeting and say, I want to be added to the agenda, I don't want anything, and then ask us for support to move forward for something that's going to.
I've given you a lot of information. I sent you guys an email a week ago today.
Yeah.
I just like some feedback and to say, yes, I think it's a good program.
And I think I said that. I
And
think
let's
I
go
said I can be
forward.
very supportive of a canine program.
So
I just
what
want the plan and the
So
cost.
you don't like anything I sent you?
No, you're making up things. I didn't
asked a
say that.
question.
I
didn't make a
absolutely didn't
statement.
say
That
that.
was a question.
Yeah,
that
you're
was
making
the question.
assumptions that are not true.
No, I
And they're
said,
not
do you not
accurate.
like anything in my, do you like anything in
Yeah.
there?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I
so
do like
what
the
are the only
update.
thing
You
you're-
said it was an update, and that's what I'm looking for, but there needs to be more information. I need to see the full plan, the layout, how much the
I
reoccurring
sent it
costs are
to
gonna
you.
be.
I sent it to you.
Okay, I
How
have
come I didn't
questions
get any
about it then.
feedback from you?
Alan, it was a holiday week, and I got part of, what you said was the update, and I don't have all the questions. We can add you to the
Can
agenda,
you
and
come
we can
back
do
like
this.
at our next
I can't.
meeting? If we have a special meeting
I've
at
I think
asked
we
you guys,
14?
I've asked you guys.
If there's any
I would like that.
cost,
I don't know that we can keep you from getting a dog,
No,
can
you
we?
can't.
if there's any extra
Okay, well, I
cost,
think
we
you have to go through
come
the
to
commissioners
county
for that.
anyway to get
And actually,
money
there's,
for the extra cost, so.
Yeah.
this for the
And I've
State Board of
said that.
Accounts,
I
if you.
don't foresee any extra cost.
The other thing, Alan, is if you take donations, you have to set up a special fund for the State Board of Accounts, and that has to be approved through the commissioners. So that has to be a dedicated fund. So that was something that I learned just the other day. Anybody who takes donations on behalf of the county has to set up a special fund and has to be approved through the commissioners first. So that would be, one step that you would want
So
to
I'm
take.
just here today to ask you, will you support a canine program for Perry County Sheriff's Office?
Until I have all the information and all the
Absolutely.
financials and what the costs are going to be and if we can afford it or not, I can't.
Can I ask you guys individually?
Sure.
Go.
I mean,
Like I said,
we need
if
the
if we can
information,
afford it, I think we definitely need one.
but we have to have the information.
Well, we can afford zero if that's what it's gonna cost.
I don't see any.
I
cost.
support a K-9 program for you to look into it and get the plan to, get all the costs
I'm
involved
getting a
and
lot of problems.
zero.
I'm getting
So,
a lot.
it doesn't hurt to
I
me to
really-
look into it.
Right, I have no problem
But I
looking
thought
into it.
after the email that I sent spelled it all out, that it just seems like nothing's ever good that enough for what I do. I work my butt and tail off. And it seems like I can't get zero traction or feedback.
My concern is
I've
just
sent multiple emails on the canine program.
donations. I know you're relying a lot on donations to get started. But are any of those fees that you're getting donations on, are they going to continue the next year? They're probably gone. I mean, how can you guarantee you're going
Those
to donations
fees,
every
a
year?
lot of those as like I put in the plan, I could pay for some out of commissary. Yes, it was in the commissary. It was in the plan. It was just this, I'm not asking for any money. I'm just asking for your support to go forward with this program and I'm going to lose it. If you all tell me right now, I've wasted my time. I'm sorry to waste your all's time. But this canine has, this county has a drug problem, and we're not addressing it.
Mhm.
And I'm tired of kicking things down. I want to move forward on this. It just seems like I get zero support from some of you.
I think it's irrelevant what
that's
Tell
not
City's
for
gonna
me.
do. I think that without a doubt,
I don't like the
it's
rhetoric.
time the county steps up and gets a canine program up and running. I mean,
David, I'd be supportive of tabling it till a special meeting so that we can have all our information and
I
I
don't
can.
have time. That's why I was sick last week. Nobody's business, but I was sick.
Mhm.
I could not even think about it. But yet when I found out this meeting was happening, I said, what, every other meeting we're able to do this. And I'm just asking for your support, people. That's all I'm asking.
Alan, it's a lot more than just support. We can be supportive of something, but
Be
we
supportive.
as a council have to have the funds and we
I'm
have to know
I'm
for the
not asking
taxpayers
for
of Perry
that. How many
County.
times I tell you, I'm not.
Alan,
asking for
there are things that are gonna be reoccurring costs that
In the
we do have
future,
to,
yes, there could
but
be.
no, there are gonna be that we have to worry about. I'm positive of
What do
it.
you think that it would be? Because he's saying he has, in that plan, he has all the donations costs to get it up and going. He's got the
The donation, the initial cost,
the initial
I
cost.
fully-
So you're talking just upkeep of the dog and
I don't know. There's certain laws that go along with dogs where you have to, like I said, you have to pay overtime for certain things for
they
the
did
handler.
at the police.
I think, Tell City Police, does
It
that. I
seems
just
like
want to know
get
what
zero-
those
It
are.
just seems like I get zero support for the things I'm doing for my office. I've been here for 8 years. I've never seen in my 8 years of being the sheriff here that I get no support like I'm getting at this time.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well, I
sorry.
I actually don't like the rhetoric because you are telling people that
I don't know
I'm
what that means.
anti-law enforcement and
I don't know
everything
what
else.
that
That is not true. I have a job to do on this council and I am not anti-law enforcement. I just buried one of my best friends. So
And
I don't
have-
want
Let him
to, I don't
do
want to
it.
hear things
Let
like
him do
that.
it. Let him do his job.
No, my job is to look over the finances and you have to understand my job as well, Alan. I have
I
to
have
be,
an office to run and you're not, it just seems like I get nothing from some of you. Okay? It
can we
doesn't-
add it to the agenda and we
No,
can?
I don't want to. I've added, I'm just asking your support. That's all I'm asking.
It's not just support, it's money that goes along
I'm
with
not
it.
asking you for any money. It's in the plan. Zero tax dollars.
I would like it to be added on the agenda for the next meeting so that we can have the discussions about what's being left
Okay,
out or what are
let's-
things that are.
we've got, I make a motion.
Can I just
That,
ask, okay, you said I could ask, so would I have your support? Would I have your support?
I need the plan and I need to be able to have, you can't ask us if we have support if we don't have all the
Would I have your
information.
support?
David, can we
That
make a
is
motion on
unfair.
this
That is
program?
No, I'm
completely
asking
unfair.
you.
David,
No, no.
can we make a motion on this program?
That is.
To make, or somebody
This is a
make a
big deal.
motion and then, if we support it, then we'll say yay or nay then. I mean, we got to keep it.
I would
It's-
like to
it's
see
not
We
that.
have to
about
keep it
support, though.
organized and not,
It's about having the financials to
I
know
had
what
no
we're getting
idea I would
into.
come here today to get this kind of response. I thought that I've given you every single thing. I can't tell the future.
Ellen, if you were
I
gonna
could
be,
die tomorrow. I could quit and I could tell you, just over a year, I could walk out of here and get my pension. I don't plan on that. I don't know what the next sheriff's gonna do, whoever that is.
I'm not talking about the next sheriff, I'm talking about now.
Well,
Like, once
I'm
you have the
here.
dog and the initial donations, I think
As
that's
I
great.
said, while I am here, I will continue to seek grants and donations. And I don't think I will have any problems with that.
Do you have like a, say, worst case scenario, if you didn't
Right.
get the grants or the donations, what would the cost be?
Like I
The
told you,
reoccurring
I've already
cost.
got the grants.
I know
The
for
reoccurring
now, but how much are those grants that you've gotten?
For the equipment, I got that,
But see, we're not seeing that.
Right.
I think that's what
It's
you're
in there, the
saying.
Grants that I've applied for.
Do you have the dollar amount?
It's gonna, yes, it was in here.
Not
It-
read
the
the email we
details-
sent? Because the
I
email
I
we
said
sent
the
had
email, it
everything
said
in
that
there.
he got, there was two
I
different
was like,
names
are
of
you gonna vote
grants,
or
it's
not?
just we
If
would
you
need
tell
to
me,
know.
I'll tell me no today, I will take this, I'll put it in a file, I
Alan,
won't do it.
can we just talk about it at
I
the
would
next
put it
meeting
in
and
a file.
have
have
and have all the
I'm gonna
information?
lose a spot if I don't do this.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask for it, but when I knew I got the email last week, if I don't do this, I'm gonna lose a spot with the.
When you knew
vendor.
this meeting was gonna happen,
If I don't do this,
you
if
didn't
I,
email us and tell us you wanted to be on the agenda
If
so
I
we could
don't-
have our information.
if I don't tell, I was sick, couldn't. If I don't tell this vendor, yes, I am all in, I might lose this dog, or I might lose this vendor to say, you know what, we don't have any more spots for you.
Even if you're all in and something shakes loose that we can't do it, they'll move on to somebody else, what will happen currently.
Who?
What does,
I mean, the vendor with it,
The vendor, they have so many dogs.
okay.
And right now, they are seeking places like Perry County Sheriff's Office and other agencies. Do you want a dog? Do you want the program? And if I don't say yes, I've told them right now, kind of a shake, that I would get your all support. And I told them, I said, I can't go forward. I don't want to go forward until I have your all support. That's all I'm asking.
Bottom line is there's no money commitment from
No.
us. I'll make a motion, if you entertain a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we show our support.
Absolutely,
With no money commitment.
Yes.
absolutely. Get the dog ordered. I'll second it.
Motion by Paul to support the program Second by-
And with no.
with no money.
No money.
We're not guaranteeing.
Second by
no money.
Keith. Any other discussion?
I just like to say, it's not that I'm not supportive of a program. I just want to have all the financials, because as our job as a council, we're supposed to have all those things and make sure we have everything lined out. You know, we're here to also be spokespersons of people, of the taxpayers, and what we need to do. Our job is with the finances and the reoccurring costs and those type things. And I think it's, again, I'll say it, reckless to not have all that information laid out. And I would just rather have this discussion where I could have my information with me. First of all, this kind of feels like the budget situation. I didn't have any of my information with me. And so, you know, to add this on under public comments and to ask for a vote, I think it's inappropriate.
Okay, if we vote to support this,
I'm not asking for it.
and you're not asking for any money, I think there's still opportunity to discuss it further at another meeting.
But does this vote mean that he's going to go say, yes, I'll purchase the dog, let's move forward? Because that starts the program, and then
Kind of
there's,
like a verbal from you guys to say, yes, I support it, so I can call these people and say, yes.
and
I'm
are we
in.
confident we can start a program like that without commissioner's approval? Because
I'm going to come in, but I couldn't come to last week.
that would be where you would go first, I believe. And then if
I'm
they
just
want
after
to,
your
if
support.
they
I'm not
want to
asking
do
for
that.
anything. I think you can support just the program.
Absolutely.
If we, okay, so we support this,
It's backward.
relying on that you will be going to the commissioners.
They would have to do it first, and then it would come.
Why? Tell me why.
Because they're in charge, they're the executive of the county. We're just the fiscal body. They're the executive. They make those type
Right, I
decisions on
realize
starting
I'm
programs.
just asking their support.
That's
I'm not
why.
asking for any monies or anything.
Like it's an expansion of services, right?
Right.
This is where I have a
Yeah.
question, because we are elected officials, and I know at the beginning of the year, I was really confused on this because I felt like everything I did within my office, I had to go to the commissioners or whatever. And I was told, whatever I wanted, my office is my office. So I don't understand where it said that if he's not asking for any money, he's not asking for anything to where he has to have any approval to do this. All he's asking for is your support. And that's where I'm questioning where you think the logic is that an elected official who is not asking for anything, he's asking for something to be done within his office that he runs, has to go ask permission to someone else. Because I know at the beginning of the year, I was told that this is my office, I can run my office within, I didn't have to keep coming to commissioners. So that's where I think
If that's the
those lines are
case-
being
If
crossed.
that's the case, and the executive, then why do we have an executive branch of government?
Well,
I mean,
yes, it
they
is.
need to be there
It's
to
outlined,
start
there's
the
zoning and
program.
appealing and all that kind of
And so
stuff,
that's-
not running the offices.
I've started a
That's-
lot of programs.
They don't oversee it
Yeah.
like.
It's a program.
No, they don't oversee an elected official in their
I started
offices.
programs in my jail, but I haven't had.
I don't know what's happened in the past or who's allowed what, but I think that that is the appropriate thing to do. And also, just like I said, if you do donations, you actually have to, you know,
I don't
put it in.
understand
But
why,
for the state
why all of a
accounts-
sudden in the last 8 or 9 months, we've added so much rhetoric and red tape.
So much micromanagement.
So absolutely, I mean.
Just trying to follow the law, just trying to follow the rules.
Motion on the floor by Paul, second by Keith, to support the K-9, with the assumption there's no money involved. And I'm assuming in the future there will be no money involved.
Yeah, it will have to come back to the council.
I guess if there is money, then it'd have to come back. So all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
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 You vote aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, that would be 5 ayes, 1 nay.
Anybody else support? Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
I still believe it needs to go before the commissioner.
Gotcha.
Okay, next we have additional appropriation, Perry County Highway Department Community Caution Grant in the amount of $863,400. And I think this is just kind of formality for
Yeah,
Steve.
it's money we received from the state to pay for the paving. Just needs an appropriation forward to pay the bill.
Everything looked really nice. They done a really good job. I mean, I make a motion, we approve.
Motion by Keith, second by
I'll second that.
Stan.
Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Be talking to you, bud.
Next, we have the commissioners dedicated to PSAP 911 dispatch in the amount of $46,555. I think that was a shortfall of 30-some thousand from 2023, then 12,500 from Carrollton and 3,000 Troy, making a total of 46,555. I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Keith,
Second.
second by Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Next, we had we scratched that. Next, we have general commissioners care of patients in institutions in the amount of $55,026.24. And that's just,
Not yet.
there's no way around that.
That'd get us current, correct, Chris?
Yeah, I did an additional 30 for all the Novembers that will be paid in December, so we didn't have to come back.
We don't want to lose them vendors. I'll make
Yeah.
a motion to approve.
Motion by Keith, second by
Second.
Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Next, we have from Riverboat Auditor Consulting Services in the amount of $8,000. This is to cover, I think it's consulting for doing our budget.
And it changed. It's out of Chris's.
Oh,
right?
yes.
The auditor's budget.
Yeah, there wasn't, it's either 6-8, the location actually should have been 002. But I advertised it as 0068, so it doesn't really matter, it's coming out of the same fund, different location. It can come out of either or,
So it's coming out of,
Auditor.
002.
it's coming out of the auditors.
There's like 4 locations in there,
Oh, okay.
it's all in the same fund.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Paul, second by
Second.
Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Next, we have some transfers. First one from administrative salary to software. This is to cover the cost of the time and attendance in the amount of $20,000. I guess we do these individually. I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
No, a motion by Keith, second by
Second.
Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Next, we have corner.
You want to do it all at one time or? take-
No, I need it separate.
I'm doing
Yeah, I'm doing
separate.
them separate.
You have two, okay.
Corner from travel, $20, training, $130, and vehicle maintenance, $20, and cooler maintenance, $165, all to cadaver bags,
Chris.
Oh,
$335.
gotcha. Thank you, sorry.
I
Warren,
think
are you out of those?
You're just
Your cadaver
transferring.
bags?
I am almost out,
Okay.
and let me,
I just didn't know about if you had any left from COVID.
well, I'm down, in July, I got 1 box of the heavy-duty bags, which is 6, and a box of the medium weight bags, which is 10. We're down to, I've just got each one of those boxes left. The problem is, this year, we've had 54 cases already. this year that we've had to use body bags. And at the rate we're going, we've had 20 autopsies. So even with this transfer, I'm going to have to submit another transfer some more at your next meeting, because the body bags I got in July cost us $560 for 2 boxes, one of 6 and one of 10. So box of body bags does not last very long at all. And at this time, I'm waiting. I'll be putting in another transfer on x-rays. I've got a bill with the company that our contract calls for $100 per x-rays. They're trying to charge me $500 some, so I'm fighting with them. They supposed to got back with me last Wednesday. They told me they'd get with me again today. They still haven't, but whatever money I got left in the x-ray fund for this year, I'm gonna ask to be transferred over, so I can go ahead and get the body bags ordered, because they're getting scarce, as far as, because they're made out of plastic and petroleum, and they're hard to find. So
Was the last date for transfer the 20th? Did you say the last day for transfers was December 20th? So you need to make sure you get that
Yeah.
in.
So I'm just wanting to let you know that we have went through a lot of bags this year, and I hope it slows down, but
Hopefully.
this community's it's senior citizen community, and we're having more and more.
If you ran out of somehow, Steve does have some for,
Well, the hospital, my understanding, the hospital's got some of the thin ones. The
I was
problem-
just thinking if Steve had some, you'd probably, if they're comparable, you ought to rotate stock out, because sitting in the box isn't good.
Yeah, so,
You don't want to buy.
yeah, well, I do know the hospital's got some too, but they got the thinner ones, and we had some thin ones when I first took office, and we tried to use them.
Oh, yeah.
They ripped out. I mean, you put it by and try to pick it up. they ripped
Yeah, I
out.
make a motion to allow Warren's transfers.
A motion by Keith, second by
Second.
Gail. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0.
Okay.
Thank you, Warren.
you. I got one other thing over this K-9. The county had a K-9 unit when I was sheriff. And it comes in handy out in the county. Now, last December, we had a boy that had an accident out by a hospital running off. If we could have got a K-9 unit there quicker, we maybe would have found him before he froze to death. So, I mean, that's just something you need to look into.
I'm not sure this canine will track humans, right?
Canines will, yeah, even aggression dogs will, and drug dogs will still, if they're cross-trained, because the dog we had sheriff's department was aggressive for aggression, tracking, and drugs. So they can be cross-trained. And like I say, if we could have got a K-9 unit last December 28th or where it was in the freeze.
Could have made a difference.
It could have
Never
made a
know.
big difference with finding that boy, because he's only 200 yards from the hospital when we found him, or 300 yards from the hospital. So that's just, I just feel that the county does need one, so thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Okay, the next transfer is out of the auditor's office from official records, $700 to travel, $700. I think this is to cover a lot of your meetings.
I took Kelly to a couple of the meetings because there's so much HR stuff that's going in. So she went to trainings with me. I don't think that was necessarily budgeted in the past. I have budgeted for it in 2024, but there's a lot of HR stuff that goes on alongside with all the financial stuff. And I can't be in two places at once. So that will cover Kelly going to the training with me.
Any discussion on that? Not, I would entertain a motion. Motion by Stan to approve, second by
Second.
Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. 6-0. Next, we have transfer in jail from medical for employees to inmate clothing in the amount of $400. I don't know what that, Alan, is that here name? Oh, well.
I got it here, hold on. This is transfer request to pay for additional jump shoes for inmate. I do want to commend them for looking for ways to transfer instead of ask for additionals. And this is going from a category 3 to a category 4, so therefore it requires your permission.
Our inmate population still up in the 90s.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Pretty much. I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Paul to approve, second by
I'll second it.
Keith. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Section violent offender sheriff's office, from equipment, $249 to office supplies, $249.
Transfer request to purchase for office supplies. Looks like they did a transfer instead of an additional appropriation. Transfer within their budget.
Make a motion, approve.
Motion by Keith to approve the transfer, second by
Second.
Paul. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries 6-0. Next item, approval of 2024 salary ordinance.
I do have this. I know that Kelly wanted to get this so we can get everything moving with the time and attendance. I did not email this out to you guys. I can, but basically, taking all the salaries that were awarded at the 2024 budget and converting all of the hourlies to an hourly rate based off of that budgeted amount. And of course, all the salaries to a biweekly salary. So I can send that out to you, but I hope that you would, if you want to read through all those, you're more than welcome to. I don't know how you guys normally do the salary ordinance. But we've got to get this all set up into the new time and attendance payroll software, make sure all of it's converted, and we're running some trials. So she gave that to me last week to add on there.
I can read through these real
Yep,
quick, I
if you want
guess.
to, go ahead.
We have in the clerk's office, first deputy, 1990, I'm reading the hourly rates, 1994, 1837 for the second clerical, 1501. And the auditor, lead financial deputy, 20.54. Human resource administration, 2117. And in deputy salary, there's two of those, 18.75. Treasurer, first deputy, 1994. Second deputy, 1837. Recorder, first deputy, 1994. Second deputy, 1837. I guess I could read these by. The clerk's biweekly rate is 1797.11. That's not an hourly, it's a salary. Auditor, 1938.46. 1797.11 for treasurer, and 1797.11 for recorder. In the sheriff's office, of course, the sheriff is 50% of the prosecutor's salary, a biweekly rate of 34.26. Hourly rates are first police officer, second police officer, 24.42. And we have third police officer, fourth police officer, fifth police officer, and chief deputy, and eighth police officer, ninth deputy, and 10th deputy. Those are all at 2367. And then we do have a chief deputy at 2619. And we have a holiday pay. Holiday pays are for deputies 1 and 2, 2561. Holiday pay deputies 3 and 5 and 7 to 8 are 2485. And the chief deputy holiday pay is 2749. And part-time police officers are hourly rate of $30. Board meetings are $15 per meeting. I think we changed that.
Who's
this
that?
year. The board meeting members.
Who's up for it?
Oh, sheriff.
Sheriff's Merit Board.
I think sheriffs get, I'll put a star next to that. I'll have her check. I'll look at the
I
budget.
think that's correct.
I think we still had to pay those. I'll check on that though.
Coroner, bi-weekly rates of the coroner is $283.88, chief deputy is $231. Then the first, second, third, and fourth deputies are $161.73 each. Assessor, bi-weekly rate $1797.11. First deputy hourly rate $1994. Second deputy $1837.
That's the sheriff's board.
Level 2 deputy is $1923. Prosecuting attorney, office manager $1929. Administrative assistant $972. Victim advocate $648. County extension, administrative assistant $2013. Summer assistant $1355. Veteran service office $1890. Then he has also a stipend of $1,000 paid annually. County council, all members are paid $183.96 biweekly. Salary of the year is $47.83. Department 62 election board, $2,500 per election in primary, $2,500 per election in general. That's time. There's 3 of those each. Inspectors, $125 per election. Judge clerk, $100 per election. In absent voting terms assigned to clerk's office. Absent voting terms assigned to clerk's office. Part-time and full-time, part-time is $40 per day. Full-time is $80 per day. Absent voting teams voting combined $60 per day. Board of Commissioners, annual salary is $13,295. Bi-weekly rate $511.35. There's 3 of those. Tax assessed board of appeals, certified level 2, $100 per day. And tax assessed board of appeals board members $375 per day. Is that when they meet?
We have 5 on that board, and I haven't heard anything about meeting this year.
Well,
Which one is it?
tax assessed board of appeals.
Mm-hmm.
Department of zoning, or Department of planning and zoning, part-time zoning administrator, $1357 hourly rate. Circuit court judge, there's a $5,000 salary. The court administrator, court reporter, $1388.34 bi-weekly rate. Chief probationary office, $2714.23. Court reporter, magistrate secretary, $1760 hourly. CASA director, $1637.85 bi-weekly. Probation officer, $2183 bi-weekly rate salary. Probation secretary, hourly rate $1570. Judge secretary reporter, $1710 hourly rate. Emergency management director, $1935.07 bi-weekly rate. Coordinator, 911, $387.69 bi-weekly rate. Administrative assistant, $1837 hourly. We have part-time data entry, $1.96 hourly rate. Jail, there's jail officers 9, $1879 hourly rate. Jail officer sergeant, there's 2, $1989 hourly rate. Part-time jails and part-time matron up to $1617 hourly. Holiday paid jail officers has a rate of $1973. Holiday paid jail officer sergeant has a rate of $20.89 hourly. For the child support director, $1978 hourly rate. Secretary, $972 hourly rate. Administrative assistant, $1929. Soil and water conservation district secretary treasurer, $20.54 hourly rate. Park and recreation county recreation director, $1839.38. That's a bi-weekly salary rate. Facility management assistant, $1569 hourly. Clerks perpetuation, clerical, $15.01 hourly rate. We have sales disclosure, deputy 2, it's $1 hourly rate. And
We can
enhanced
pay this thing.
access recorder, $1. Recorder, 1820, salary. Health department, health officer, $370.38, bi-weekly rate, salary of $9,630 annual. Office manager, administrator, $19.94 hourly rate. Health nurse, $1881.26 bi-weekly rate with a annual rate of $48,913. Sanitarian, $25.80 hourly rate. Public health nurse, industry nurse, $23.14 hourly rate. Local income tax safety, public county share, deputy holiday pay, $26.43. Lieutenant deputy, $25.18.
I just realized we didn't have the whole thing.
Matron salary, $24.85. Jail commander salary, $19,384 bi-weekly rate with a salary of $49,500. $18.79 hourly rate for jail officer matron. Jail corporal, $19.33 hourly rate. Jail officer holiday pay, $19.73. Jail corporal holiday pay, $20.29 hourly rate. Highway restricted, department, 530 administration superintendent, $2,327.92 bi-weekly rate. Annual salary, $30,263. Foreman, hourly rate, $23.60. $25.29 hourly rate for officer manager. Department maintenance and repair of highway truck drivers, there's 4 of those, hourly rate $20.15. $21.49 for operators, where there are 12 of those. $17.60 temporary seasonal experience. Highway administration superintendent, $23,27.92 for a total of $30,263. I assume that's the same individual, right? It's just paid in 2 different.
Yeah, restricted,
Departments.
unrestricted, yeah.
Foreman, $23.60. Office manager administration, $20.54. Operations manager, $25.29. There, it's the same thing, I guess. Department maintenance and repair, truck drivers 4, $20.15. Operators 12, $21.49. I'm not sure what that means.
There's 12 of
Is that-
them.
I know, but is that there twice?
Well, those ones restricted, that one comes out of the restricted. This is the unrestricted, it's half.
So we're just paying half out each
Mhm.
one, but
Half
it's
out
the
of each
same rate.
Yeah, each pay is half out of restricted, half out of unrestricted.
And same way with temporary seasonal summer help, $13.20. Temporary seasonal experience, $17.60. I guess that summer help is only paid out of the one, the $13.20 hourly rate.
The unrestricted,
Temporary seasonal summer help, it's under the,
that's here too. Restricted,
but not the summer help. It's probably just paid out one.
paid out of one,
Because it's
probably,
only
but just the
2 or 3
unrestricted.
months, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks right.
Master mechanic, there's 2 at $22.68. Part-time master mechanic, $22.68. Plat book, auditor, you have to put all those in there.
Mm-hmm.
$1, bi-weekly rate, $70. Recorded record perpetuation, temporary part-time clerk, 15.01. I thought we saw that earlier.
Is your part-time just paid out of plat book, or out of your perpetuation?
Perpetuation, it was somebody else, Dave, that wouldn't, it was, I think this was Laura's office.
Oh, I think you're right. Surveyor, corner perpetuation, salary of $10,912 for a bi-weekly rate of $419.69. CASA director, $250, bi-weekly rate, or hourly rate, $370.
Grant.
That was a grant, I guess.
Yep.
Supplement adult probation, a court administrative reporter, $49.03, bi-weekly rate, $188.57. Court reporter secretary, $135.61. Probation secretary, $268.46. And judge secretary, court reporter, $170.61. That's all out of the grant too, right?
They're paying, that's out of the supplemental adult SAPs,
Okay. Inmate,
supplemental adult probation.
inmate housing sheriff, overtime first and second police officer, $36.63. Overtime third and ninth police officer, $35.50. Overtime chief deputy, $39.28. Overtime jail officers, $28.18. Overtime jail officer sergeant, $29.83. Overtime lieutenant, $37.77. Overtime jail corporal, $28.99. Prosecuting attorney, victim advocate, $13.65. It's under criminal justice grant. Health immunization grant. We have a public health nurse supervisor, $10,140 annual, $390 hourly or biweekly rate. We have public health immunization nurse, $390 biweekly rate. Public relations data entry, an hourly rate of $17.37. And we have a financial and budget manager and a public relations data entry to each receiving $240 biweekly. Emergency preparedness grant, office manager administration, $76.92. Public health nurse, $76.92. Sanitarian, $76.92. Nurse, $76.92. And data entry, $76.92. That's a one-time payment, right?
Yes.
4D incentive, department clerk, deputy clerk, there's 4 of those. I guess they received $70.
Let me look at that. Hold on a second. That's the 4D. That's the extra, yep, 4D.
And, also, continue with community corrections grant, we have a director of $76,194, $29.30.53 biweekly rate. Case manager, $62,448, $24.01.84 biweekly rate. Administrative assistant, salary hourly rate of $22.52. Lab collection field officer, an hourly rate of $20.87. Then the court, the citizen grant, case manager, $56,770 annual salary with a biweekly rate of $21.83.40. And the field officer receives a salary of $19 hourly. Any questions on those?
Does that have to be approved at this meeting, or could it wait till the next one so we could review it? Because I just like to look it over. I know we read it, but I can't understand all
With your
that.
permission to go ahead and start putting this into the time and attendance. I need to start getting that all loaded.
Just like to make sure, I just like to look it over before I vote.
You can
Yeah,
sign it.
I didn't know this was coming up. I have no supporting documents and I can't.
That's completely fine. We'll do it at the 14th meeting, but I'm going to go ahead and start entering this. I'm fully supportive, and that's like I said, this is taking your guys' budget and dividing it.
Approved 10%.
That's what, you guys set the
That's what they
budget
are.
and we do it. That's fine. With that being said, I'll bring that, but I do want to say something because I personally, and I want to talk to you guys directly, face to face, because I have got to get this off, because I cannot keep going on like this. Guys, we've got to figure something out. I know I've talked to several of you individually. I know I spoke with the commissioners, but I had no idea when I took this position that the amount of stress and the amount of what I call micromanagement would be going on. And from what I've talked to other elected officials, it's never been like this before. I can't continue this way. Whatever's in the past has happened, has got to be in the past, and we have got to move forward. But I cannot do 2024 the way 2023 has been done. I know that I can speak on other elected officials, and we have offices to run. And I, along with other elected officials, was elected to run the offices, to run our offices and do this. And I'm going to speak clearly, or with what happened at the last council meeting. I am completely okay with you guys wanting to change policies and procedures and the way things are done. But just like you didn't want to be blindsided with an agenda, that's not fair for you to blindside me at a meeting that you want to change policies and procedures. I am an adult. I am very well able to compromise and talk things out, but the way things, I am trying to follow procedures the way that has been done in the past, and along with seeking out knowledge from the State Board of Accounts and the State Comptroller's Office. So I feel that if you guys are gonna ask the same respect, just like you didn't want Alan to blindside you, we need that same respect.
Okay, I want to talk about that because that's not my policy and procedures. That's how it should be. I don't think we've been doing it correctly from the beginning,
Correct,
from
but is that
January.
fair for you to blindside me at a meeting and make it out to the public like I've been doing something wrong?
I
No.
didn't do that.
It was
I did not.
completely fine
No,
with you for
no,
11 months,
no,
Kelly.
you're wrong. That's where you're wrong again. With this situation.
Don't tell me I'm wrong again.
Well, you're incorrect, and this is part of this, I don't like it because
I don't
it's,
like it either, Kelly, but you have to.
you're taking it personal. It's not personal. That, it wasn't on you, it was on us. We've been doing it wrong too, since January.
But
It's perfectly fine.
you cannot have a conversation. I am working 40 to 50 hours. I'm in my office. You have my cell phone. You have my email, and my door is open.
Mhm.
And you choose to talk to me about or change something in the middle of a public meeting instead of having the respect to say, hey, I think we've been doing this wrong. I've looked at it. Let me finish. You say that, you let me finish. To where you can say, hey, I think we've been doing this wrong. I think this needs to go to the commissioners. Here's my whole point. My job is to balance the funds and pay the bills, okay? Your job is to make sure that the funds stay back, that nothing's being spent without appropriation. The commissioner's budget job is to make sure every claim warrants payments. Their job is not to balance the funds. That's my job, okay? So if you want to change something, that's completely fine. But if you want the respect of not being blindsided, then stop doing it to us.
It's not blindsided. It's in a public
can take your
meeting
way.
and nobody, I don't think it was just me. It wasn't my intention. Other people said the same thing. Hey, we recognize there's a problem. We've been doing this incorrectly. It wasn't on you. It wasn't against Chris Hammock. It wasn't anything
It's not.
about the auditor. It was,
But you can't
this
communicate
process
to me?
hasn't-
You can't communicate
we did
to me?
communicate in the public
Hold on,
meeting,
hold
Chris,
on
that
a
we just
second.
need to do this. This is,
Hold on.
I don't want you to take offense to it. It wasn't against you, Chris. It was just, hey, I recognize we haven't been doing things correctly. We need to start doing this differently going forward. We all haven't been doing it correctly. It's not just you.
I don't understand why it had to be brought up in a
Let me
meeting.
speak.
Let me speak. I'm allowed to speak the same as you are, Stan.
This is our council meeting, okay? This is our council. This is where we make our decisions in public forum. And sometimes I think you are out of line with what you're should be doing for the council, because you are, according to state statutes, you are the secretary for the commissioners and secretary for the council. You're injecting yourself a lot into our business.
But you guys can make your own
Just
agenda
hold on.
and you can do your own stuff.
Let me
Is
speak.
that how you want?
Let me
No,
speak.
you're not gonna disrespect
Not
me,
the
Stan.
There you go.
It's fine.
There you-
You guys, starting in 2024, your president can start doing their own agendas. They can start putting this all together by themselves. I don't have to do that.
State statute, you.
I do not.
have to.
No, I do not. No, I do not.
We need to work together. somehow.
Absolutely, we need to work together. It's
But
ridiculous.
you are not gonna sit here and tell me that I have to do your agenda and I have to do that, because I do not.
We need to try to work
And I'm
together.
trying to work, but it's
Well,
hard
that's the
when
way
you're
it's always
continually.
been. That's the way it's always been.
That's the way it's always been. But guess what, Stan?
You know?
That's the way the appropriations have always been done before, but you wanted to change it in the November meeting.
Absolutely.
The way it
And
always
they
has been
did
done
change it.
before, but you wanted to change it then. So if you want to change it to where
Is
you're
that the
president,
same thing as that one meeting? I feel like that our meeting was hijacked and we did a coup.
I had
and did the
nothing to
budget.
do with
Is
that.
Well,
and you can say whatever you want,
I'm just saying.
that's not me.
There's-
Who hijacked your meeting, Stan? Not me. I come here. You tell me what you want to do. We have got to figure out, it doesn't matter. We all have to work together. And I don't think any of us want to continue on this way. But I work very hard. I work ungodly hours. I literally am giving you everything that I have. And I am a people pleaser. I am. So when I've worked hard to do something and it's being pulled apart or whatever, or I'm being made to, that I'm doing something wrong, I do take offense to that. Because I feel like I am here plenty of time. You all have my email. You all have my phone number. Y'all can walk in the door. If you want to do something, let's do it a little bit and stop, instead of continuing to have meetings like this. And yes, I am guilty of this right now, but I can't take much more. I cannot take this.
I agree with you, Chris. It's ridiculous. This agenda has been available. If somebody had wanted to, and we've approved the budget, so it's just a matter of, I mean, I don't see any reason to not approve the salary ordinance. I think it's ridiculous.
Have you looked it over? Have you,
I
besides
mean,
the first reading, you're just taking,
I mean, I'm not going to, I don't know, unless you have 2023s and 2024s and you want to calculate everything.
I
It's
like to
not
look
my
it over.
job to calculate it, it's her job, and if there's been a mistake made, it falls back on her. It
No,
don't
I
fall
think
back
it
on
would fall
us.
back on you if you approve
No,
it.
it won't. No, when I make a motion, we approve it.
I'm sure it will.
This is ridiculous.
I'm okay with waiting on the
Okay.
salary ordinance.
I'd like
It's
to
not
wait.
a big deal. I'm not okay. I just want to get to where we are not so daggone controversial. And I understand.
Agree
But
with
this
you.
auditor, the auditor position has always played a big role in helping the council. And I can honestly say that there's a lot of meetings here that David looks to me for guidance and questions. So if you guys don't want me, I will be happy to sit in that back chair back there and take your meeting minutes, and you guys can do your own agenda and get your own stuff together. Because as the auditor, my job is to balance the funds and pay the bills. So I'm okay with whatever you guys want to do, but let's communicate as adults. And I want to get our meetings, and I know today is not any different than the way they've been, but we have got to get where we are working together and unified, and that we are trusting our elected officials, our partnered elected officials, to do their job too. I mean, that's the whole thing.
So can you email the salary ordinance?
It's already been
Then we'll-
done. Kelly emailed it out. I texted her
Okay,
while we
then
were on the phone.
we'll do it the next meeting.
Yes,
yeah,
We have a
That's
special meeting.
absolutely fine. I'm gonna go ahead and start entering everything,
Yep.
and then we'll double check once you guys have approved. But I am sorry for anything that I have ever done to upset or ruffle anybody. I will do my part. If there's something I need to do better, please communicate that with me. But I am trying my absolute best.
If you see something on the agenda, try to, get in touch with her or me or whatever.
I just have to say that Chris has went above and beyond learning this key job. She has worked hours and hours here and at home. And she doesn't deserve the way she's been treated. And she needs to be.
It's a huge, without a doubt, a huge lack of communication, and I agree, there's no reason for it. I think Chris is doing a heck of a job.
We do need to do a better job, I think, communicating.
But everybody needs, it's a two-way street.
Right.
If you got a question, call her, email her, slip it under the door, whatever. But I still,
She's given 100%, I would say.
she's given more than that, I think.
Yeah, more than that.
Okay.
But I still stand by my motion. I think we go ahead and prove it where she can get it entered in the computer. And I mean, if she emails it out and you see that there's an employee that she miscalculated, call her, she'll change it. I mean, it's not,
And the merit board meeting for the state sheriffs is $15 a meeting.
So that's okay the way we got that then.
I mean, we've approved the budget.
I'll second Keith's motion.
Motion by Keith, second by Paul,
To approve the
to
salary.
approve the salary, 2024 salary ordinance.
I'd like to review it. I appreciate you sending it out, or Kelly sending it. I'd like to review and then approve it at the next meeting or have that.
Are you okay
If
with
there's a
waiting until
mistake.
the 14th
Yeah, David,
or whatever we do?
if there is something that we've got a question on after it's been approved,
Approved. I mean, if she misfigured somebody's pay, it can be changed. I mean, it's not like that, she
We did have an
misfigured
amendment
that.
last year to it, I think.
Well, we
So-
changed everything from salary to
Yeah.
hourly.
We had 2 or
And
3
then
meetings
we
where it
changed,
changed.
yeah, because remember we changed there were people that were being paid exempt but weren't listed as exempt positions. So those were things in January that we amended. So,
I mean, her and Kelly have worked hard on this salary ordinance and to it's just, we need to move on. I mean, we approved the 10% raises. I mean, and there's no way, I mean, unless you've got 2023s and you want to go by through each one, which anybody can if they want. I'm not going to. That's Chris's job and Kelly's job. I mean, and I support what they do. By voting no or wanting to, drag it out, you might as well just say you don't trust Kelly Wilgus doing her
Well,
job.
that's inappropriate. That's completely inappropriate. I'm just trying to do my job to the best of my ability, and my job is to make sure that the things that I'm voting on are accurate, and if you don't want to do that, that's totally up to you. You represent people
I
just
think
like I
Kelly
do,
would just
so.
like to have received it before the
Yeah.
meeting.
And
I think it's
to have a
what it
chance to
amounts
look
to.
it over. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not supportive of it. I appreciate you reading it out loud, David. I just think it's our responsibility to go through it and make sure,
You've got a motion and a
before we
second.
vote.
Who made that motion?
Keith
I did.
Motion by Keith, second by Paul to approve the salary ordinance. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead,
Could you-
Nay.
5-2.
We can do it next meeting.
I will put it on the agenda for you guys, because I'd really like to have all 7 signatures on there. But I will go ahead and it's already been emailed out to you. Kelly's already sent it out to you. And then I will go ahead and start entering it. And at the next meeting on whatever day you guys set it, if there's any changes, bring them to my attention.
So that was 4-2, 4 opposed, 2 for,
Okay, thank you.
and that was under, that it will be approved at the next meeting.
Can we approve at the special meeting on December 14th?
Yeah, if we have a special meeting on the 14th,
We're going to have one, right?
Do you want to bring those up?
that's the next item on the agenda.
Yep, and explain what it's for.
See, on the 14th, we want you to do a special meeting on the 14th, so you could get you'll go to commissioners on the 4th, so that will give you
They're
10
already
days.
aware of it. They're aware of the, with this transition with the phone bill, I mean, with the last 2 months have been right.
We actually thought we had that right, I thought.
Yes, but we're short right under $1,000. So,
So if you do that on the 4th, that'll give you 10
if I
days
advertise, yeah.
to advertise for the 14th.
Do you know how much we're short on Ann Island?
Oh, and-
Yeah.
Is it,
Like 7,500.
could it be because maybe those funds weren't encumbered and then
It's
And
got to
then
be
we paid-
something.
December's and January or
Well,
something?
I think you're
It
right. I
could
haven't
be.
had a chance. I went to pay it this morning or to pull it out because I got it. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then I got to look
It has to be
and
something like
Steel's been being paid out of it, which in the 2024 budget, Steel's paid out of Riverboat. And remember, Steel was never budgeted last year, but
And we didn't do an additional for them, I feel like.
we did,
Okay.
but I still think I think you're right, that I think that
Somehow the
that there's
December got
something-
paid in January out of this, but
We were,
I'm sure that's,
yeah. that's
it's
probably what
very
happened.
likely.
Because I had it all right, like where it was gonna be right, and
So when do we
Because
need
there
to
will be
put that
5
on the
pay-
agenda, the encumbered funds? Because we really need to look at
it'll
that.
be on
The last
well,
meeting.
it'll be on the last meeting on the 28th,
28th.
because all encumbers have to be to me by the 20th, all
And you
transfers.
sent that out to department
all that.
heads, I think I saw that, so I
Mhm.
appreciate that. Because I
Yes.
think we really need to take a look at that, because that's where some of this gets us in trouble, I think.
And I think that's where I was off on Ann Island, because I thought we were done, because we'd already paid them 4, but I think one of them was from
It could be likely
2023.
that that's-
And to
So-
encumber funds, you have to meet certain conditions, of course, I know
And
I
all-
would, because it's a
Yes.
contract.
And those all have to be reported.
December
I know like
14th.
14.
Tyler Technologies, that's always been an encumbered fund.
We're going to talk about that.
But
And one year I know we forgot that one, I think, or something, and we had this kind of same
I
issue.
think it was cut 2 years ago.
Yeah, something, we were.
But this will be our 5th payment of $8,100 to Ann Island, so that means one of them should have been for 2022.
I bet that's what's happened.
Mhm.
Just,
That's
I don't know
exactly-
that, but
I'm gonna go
guess.
through and check everything else, but yeah. So,
Okay, so we do want to meet then on the 14th, a special meeting.
What time?
What time do we do
Whatever
that?
time's good for you.
What
Sean.
day is
5
that?
o'clock.
Five?
Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Then the regular meeting's 2 weeks
We're
later.
going to do it 5,
That's fine.
5 o'clock, and our next meeting, our last meeting of the year will be the 28th at 5 o'clock.
And that's when we'll do the encumbered funds, you said, Chris?
Yes.
Encumbered will be on the 28th.
28th, okay.
Encumbered will be on the 28th.
Any other discussion? If not, I would entertain motion.
Motion made to adjourn.
Adjourn, by Paul, motion adjourned, second by Stan. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-0.
All right, we got